Hi everyone, this is my Heroic Argus guide. Let's start with the talents. First off, Abyssal Strike is amazing in this fight, highly recommended. Fallout is awesome. Now, Tier 1 and 2 is a little bit different for the first time in I don't know how long. Flame Crash is fine, but Fell Eruption is chaos damage. And why this is important is because Phase 3 of Argus has the ads who have vulnerabilities, and chaos damage takes the element type of the most vulnerable element, meaning that if I'm fighting something that's vulnerable to holy, chaos damage becomes quote-unquote holy damage, sort of, for all usefulness, I guess. So you'd be doing 100% more damage on all the ads in Phase 3 if you cast Foul Eruption. I didn't use it in this fight. I will be using it next week, so I would highly recommend trying it out. Fracture is a must. Concentrated sigils. For the damage, you can't CC or you can't pull the ads together. You don't want to pull the ads together anyway. Spirit Bomb and Last Resort. Last Resort is huge on this fight. I do not recommend the other two, so Last Resort for sure. Gear wise, this is mainly physical damage. 2-piece tier 20 is great for the 5% DR. For trinkets, I tried out the Glacial Aegis. I just got it. I didn't use it enough in the fight. I don't have a weak aura yet. I'm setting that up tomorrow. But I was trying this out. It's pretty decent because of the armor. You can use the Dark Moon card. It's really good in this fight because of the armor. The Withered Heart of Darkness is really good. Other than that, for single target damage, you can use stuff like Vile, Memento, stuff like that is good. Legendaries, I use the Archmontation Reborn and the Pants. Also, the Pantheon Trinket, I would use that if you want to buff your raid. I don't have it, but I would use that as well. Other legendaries, let's talk about that quick. Pride S would be okay. Not great, but it would be okay. It's mainly physical damage. Magic damage is irrelevant for a tank, so you don't need the cloak. If you want single target damage, you can use the belt. The new Insignia Rain is good for single target damage if you have good tier 2s. Don't use Safus because interrupts in Phase 3 can be bad. So if you're wearing this, you might be tempted to actually interrupt to get the buff, and that could wipe the raid. So it's not good in this fight. Boots could be okay. And that's all I'd really recommend for this fight, to be honest, legendary wise. Consumables, always the same. Agility Flask, Agility Food. Use your Augment Rune if you have it. And Potion of Old War and Potion of Prolonged Power. So, whatever you want to use. And that's that, so let's go ahead and start looking at the fight. Alright, so here we are. The first thing to take note is there's 4 markers. There's a triangle where we start the fight. There's a circle to the right, a diamond to the left, and a star to the back. This is important for Phase 2 and Phase 4. Phase 2 and Phase 4, we tank the boss at the triangle. That way the soul bomb in both Phase 2 and Phase 4 will always go to the circle. The reasoning is in Phase 4, there should be a soul bomb in Phase 4 now, after the buff. And you don't want a soul bomb to explode on the tree where everybody is rezzing over by diamond. You always want it on the opposite side of your tree, so the soul bomb always goes to nipple. Otherwise, yeah, let's go ahead and start the fight. This is a long fight. I'm going to jump in, I'm going to spin him. This is because we can start Phase 2 at triangle if you spin him. So normal rotation start out, we switch at 2 sites. Now Phase 1 is kind of boring. Actually, a lot of this fight is kind of boring. So we switch at 2, we group up. With the gifts, you should drop them away from other people so they can choose. So I put the gift of the sea on the left for the tanks, and then the DPS can get the other gift on the right. So Cone of Death, basically, everybody needs to be shifting either to the right or to the left. We go counterclockwise, and they need to move ASAP. And at this time, we just do a tank switch. Tank switches at 2 regardless. So I'm going to taunt. The buff, the C buff, is stacked. So if you can get it more than once, it'll keep stacking up. As of right now, I don't try to. It's not needed to push out of this phase. So if you're trying to min-max, you will want to do that. I'm assuming I think you're going to want to do that as well. But Heroic is not needed unless your raid's DPS is lacking. But this is not really a big DPS race in phase 1 or phase 2, well, until phase 4 really. So at 70% starts phase 2. So just keep rotating these mechanics. I think you can get up to like 6 stacks in phase 1 and phase 2 and still survive. You'll see me doing that in phase 2 because we try to set up the avatar buff in a certain way. Somebody dropped Soul Light into the melee and kill the healer. So here's phase 2. I'm positioning myself so I can pull him in a triangle right after this C washes away all the corruption. So I have the Agronus buff, which gives you a ton of HP. Right now I'm sitting at almost 34 million HP in meta. I never dropped my stacks accidentally going in phase 3, but it doesn't matter. So right now what you see is a soul bomb running over to the nipple. It is my job to stand on that person to save their life. Soul burst is going to the other 2 markers. So I'm waiting for the scythe to come in and then I'm going to jump over. And you just stay here and make sure the person's within the circle in the ground. This actually almost kills me. I should have used Empower Wards there and I didn't. It's being bad. So I'm going to let him get 3 stacks here. Actually, I can let him get 4 stacks and then I'm going to taunt. Because he's going to run out and he's going to give me 5 stacks. So he's going to get 4, I'm going to taunt. He's going to go and stand on the soul bomb.
4, 3, 2, 1.
So this is soul bomb. He's going to have the avatar buff. Mine's running out. So he's going to go over. Right now I'm just going to use my CDs and make sure I don't die to 5 stacks. So I'll let him get to 4 on purpose because then I only go to 5. There's 5, he's going to taunt, and I'm going to get out.
Four, 3, 2, 1.
Alright, so phase 3 starts at 40%. He's going out to stand on the, you can see him out here now, he's standing on the soul bomb at nipple. If you do this rotation like we do it, you're like, I only stand on the first one, he stands on the next 2, and then we push. So right here, phase 3 starts. I noticed that there are soul bursts still out, so everybody should stay here until they explode because it is fall off damage. So the farther they are out, the less damage the raid takes. So I'm telling them to stay out or stay where we are and wait until they explode. So they have to get out. And once they explode, we're going to do a battle res and then move into the middle of the room.
Time answers to me, Unmaker. The one force that can bind your relentless fury.
So phase 3 is kind of bad as a tank. The reasoning is you got to try to pick up the ads without them killing somebody. So if all these ads spawn here, and they're all gonna have a weakness. If you have the weak ore that's in the comments, you can actually see what weakness they have. It should happen in a second. What I'm doing is I'm spinning and trying to find which ads turn to melee. Because 2 ads completely random is going to turn to melee, and they're going to run in and try to murk somebody. So what I need to do is pick one up. So how we have it set up is I told my off tank that I'm going to taunt first. After I taunt, he's going to pick up the one I don't have because it's really hard to coordinate this otherwise. So I see that one. I'm just gonna grab the first one I see. He's gonna grab the other one. Actually, he ended up grabbing both, so I'm gonna pull this one out. One note here, and I don't use in this video, and I forgot to. Well, I did mention it briefly. Failure eruption is chaos damage. Chaos damage hits the target for whatever they're weakest against. So if I would have took failure eruption here, I could actually nuke these adds for double damage every time I use it on a 30-second cooldown. It's probably what I'm going to try next week. So if you took failure eruption, here's where you want to use it. Cosmic Beacon here is the interrupt that you got to do. I don't know if you can see it from my camera angle. My ad never cast it. Basically, with Cosmic Beacon, is what you have to interrupt Cosmic Beacon and nothing else. So this adds weak against physical damage. By the way, these ads hit like a truck. You have to have dedicated heals and UCDs. So he just turned back to a caster because we didn't kill it fast enough, which is fine. So now I get to go and find the next set of melee. And it's right here. It's convenient. So I pick it up. Now they do buff other ads, so what we want to do is pull them away from any ads that they're near. I might be too close to the other ad, to be honest. So he just cast Cosmic Beacon and got interrupted. Now watch his cast bar, and now it should be red right here. Let's watch this one. So watch this Cosmic Beacon. It should be interrupted. There it is. And now what you're going to see is you can't interrupt it. Because there's a 20-second buff they get that they cannot be interrupted again for 20 seconds. So you don't want to interrupt anything else besides Cosmic Beacon, ever. So there's Cosmic Beacon, and yeah, they were able to kill it. So we got lucky here. Only one ad turned to melee, which is easier because they hit really hard and you don't have to deal with it. So I'm looking around for another melee ad because that's never happened. I'm paranoid. So once all of these ads die, phase 4 begins. So if one note here, if Last Resort procced, you'll get a back off cooldown now. If you use potions, you'll get that back off cooldown now. So you should be using double potions in phases 1 to 3 on pull, and then in phase 3 to kill the ads faster, because it's going to be reset after you die here.
End it all! No! After all we have endured, it must not end this way!
So, RP, you always get the RP.
Hope is not lost, High Father. The spark of life still flickers within these mortals. Arise, champions! Fight to...
If you get right into these ads, they knock you back and put a slow on you, so you want to avoid them. You'll see that near the end of the fight, because that was bad. So when you're running to the tree, just avoid those ads.
Save your world!
You need to interrupt this, but I wait until there's most people alive, and then I pull it back to triangle. That way, soul bombs, you can always go to nipple. These falling orbs will increase the damage you take if you get hit by them, so do not get hit by them. This is a tank the boss until you die. So what I called for is I asked for a soul stone, because I'm guaranteed to die. So instead of wasting a charge on the tree, because the tree has charges, so instead of wasting the charges on the tree, what I want to do, let me turn this down, what I want to do is make sure when I die, because it's going to happen, that I can just soulstone back up. Now these orbs just spawn, and they have to die ASAP. Have to. Alright, yeah, so Misfortune's got soul bomb, so she's running out. The scythe is melee or physical damage, and I was not topped off, and I did not have demon spikes up. At the 4th one, it one-shot me. which is really bad because I messed up here. So now I want to chain my CDs and make sure I can stay alive as long as possible because I no longer have last resort. So as everybody else is doing the mechanics, I just watch my Demon Spike CDs, keep them up as long as I can, pop meta, keep that up, and just try to survive as long as possible. And there it is. So right here, instead of wasting the charge of the tree, I'm using a Soul Stone and getting out. They just nerfed this. You know, Demon Hunter was really good because of this, and I guess Blizzard doesn't like Demon Hunters being good. Last Resort no longer resets when you die in Phase 4. It used to last week, and it made us really strong. This week, it no longer works that way. It's unfortunate. Being a little salty about that, by the way. So now I'm just going to DPS and just wait until the tank dies. Should be dying here shortly. So make sure you get a threat, because as soon as he dies, you need to taunt that, otherwise the melee is going to get one shot. So this is a lot harder because I no longer have last resort or meta. So I have to try to chain as many demon spikes, fire brands. I'm using the armor trinket, so I need to get that up. This is all physical damage I'm taking right now. His size have been buffed, by the way, because this is definitely hitting a lot harder than it hit last week. I like the buffs because this fight felt way too easy, and now it actually feels like the last boss. So I should be down here next swing probably. So take note. Let me move over here. The tree is starting to wither, so it means he only has a couple more charges. I'm trying to get back. So here's all the ads. Another thing here is if you pick up these motes over here, the raid gets Titan Forge, which increases their HP, their damage, and their healing. This fight's been so easy prior to today that we haven't needed them, so we haven't picked them up. But if your raid's struggling, definitely collect these. Like when you die, run down, pick up as many of these as possible, and then go back up. Oh. So I'm heading for the tree, and I see this raptor. And he gets there right before I do, and the tree's dead, and I'm stuck. But the fight dies. And that's the fight. Phase 1, Phase 2 is actually really easy. Phase 3 can be hard if your raid does not interrupt. We wiped twice prior to this video because we just weren't interrupting Cosmic Beacon, and it wiped us. And then Phase 4 is not really hard per se, as long as people get the soul bomb out, get the soul burst out, and then you keep the tanks alive as long as possible. It's not too bad. So that is the guide, and thank you for watching.